If you're using an EBT card right now, listen carefully, because in just a few days, something important is changing, and most people still don't know about it. This is not a rumor. This is not social media noise, and I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to make sure you're not caught off guard when you're standing at the checkout line, card in hand, and suddenly something you've always bought no longer goes through. Right now, there is a quiet shift happening inside the SNAP and EBT program. It involves new state-level approvals that allow certain items to be restricted starting January 1st. And while the intention behind this change is being debated, the reality is very simple. Your EBT shopping experience may look different very soon, depending on where you live. And here's the part that concerns me the most. Millions of SNAP recipients have received little to no direct notice about these changes. No clear letter, no simple explanation, no checklist. Which means many people are about to find out the hard way, at the register. I want to be very clear up front. This does not mean your EBT benefits are being taken away. This does not mean your monthly amount is being reduced. And this does not mean you've done anything wrong. What it does mean is that rules around what your EBT card can be used for are changing in certain states, and those rules are not the same everywhere. Over the past several months, the USDA has approved a series of state requests, often called waivers, that allow individual states to limit the purchase of specific food and drink items using EBT. These approvals didn't happen all at once. They came in waves, first a few states, then more. And now the number has grown significantly. As of now, 18 states are involved in some form of these new restrictions. And that's where confusion starts, because there is no single national rule. One state may restrict sugary sodas, another may restrict certain desserts or candy, another may restrict energy drinks. Millions of SNAP recipients have received little to no direct notice about these changes. No clear letter, no simple explanation, no checklist, which means many people are about to find out the hard way, at the register. I want to be very clear up front. This does not mean your EBT benefits are being taken away. This does not mean your monthly amount is being reduced. And this does not mean you've done anything wrong. What it does mean is that rules around what your EBT card can be used for are changing in certain states, and those rules are not the same everywhere. Over the past several months, the USDA has approved a series of state requests, often called waivers, that allow individual states to limit the purchase of specific food and drink items using EBT. These approvals didn't happen all at once. They came in waves, first a few states, then more, and now the number has grown significantly. As of now, 18 states are involved in some form of these new restrictions. Some states may restrict more than one category. Others may restrict fewer. So two families on SNAP, living in two different states, could walk into the same grocery store chain and have completely different experiences at checkout. That lack of consistency is what's making this situation especially stressful. Another issue that's not being talked about enough is enforcement. Grocery stores are expected to comply with these state-specific rules, and they face serious penalties if they don't. If a store repeatedly allows restricted items to be purchased with EBT, they could temporarily lose the ability to accept EBT payments altogether. Think about what that means. If your local store loses EBT access, even temporarily, that doesn't just affect one person, it affects every family in that community who relies on that store. This creates pressure on cashiers, it creates longer lines, it creates awkward moments. And yes, it can create embarrassment for shoppers who are just trying to buy groceries like they always have. And none of that is your fault. Most SNAP recipients follow the rules. Most families are just trying to stretch their benefits, feed their households, and get through the month. But when systems change quickly and without clear communication, it's everyday people who feel the impact first. That's why knowing what's coming matters, not to panic, not to argue at checkout, but to prepare calmly and confidently. So let's talk about what you should actually do right now, because knowledge is power, and a little preparation can save you a lot of frustration. The first step is simple, but extremely important. Find out whether your state is one of the states involved. Do not assume, do not guess, and do not rely on what someone on social media said. Go directly to your state's SNAP or Department of Human Services website or call your local SNAP office. Ask one clear question. Are there new EBT purchase restrictions starting January 1st in my state? If the answer is yes, ask for details. Because here's the second key step. Every state's rules are different. Some states restrict only sugary beverages. Some restrict candy and desserts. Some include energy drinks. Some combine multiple categories. You need to know your state's exact list, not a general headline. Once you have that information, step 3 is planning your shopping a little differently. This doesn't mean changing how you eat. It doesn't mean buying less food. It simply means being more intentional about what goes into your cart. Making a short list before you shop can help. If there are items you regularly buy that may soon be restricted, you'll want to be aware of that before you get to the register. Step 4, and this is one people overlook, talk to your grocery store. Many stores are still preparing for this change themselves. Ask if they plan to add shelf labels, signs, or scanner alerts to help customers know which items are restricted. Some stores will be proactive, others may not. But asking the question puts you ahead of the situation. Step 5 is optional, and only if it makes sense for your household. If there are items you normally buy and store safely, and your state will restrict them starting January 1st, you may choose to purchase them ahead of time, not to hoard, not to panic buy, just to avoid unnecessary disruption. Now let me address something important. This change does not define your worth. It does not mean you're being judged, and it does not mean you've done anything wrong. Policy changes happen. Sometimes they're well planned, sometimes they're rushed. But the responsibility to adapt should never fall unfairly on the people who rely on these programs to survive. January 1st may be confusing for some. There may be long lines, there may be mistakes, but if you go in informed, you're already ahead of the curve. And that's why I wanted to bring this to you now. Not on January 1st, not after a problem happens, but before. If you're in one of the affected states, you're not alone. Millions of families are navigating the same change. Share information, ask questions, support each other. And if you're not in one of these states, stay informed anyway, because programs evolve, and what happens in one state often spreads to others. I'll continue watching this closely and breaking it down in plain language, without fear, without exaggeration, just facts and guidance you can actually use. If this helped you, consider subscribing so you don't miss important updates like this. And feel free to share your thoughts or questions in the comments. Your experience matters, and others learn from it too. Stay informed, stay prepared, and I'll see you again soon. Take 1 second and subscribe to this channel. I post updates like this because these programs are not simple, and missing one small detail can cost you real money. Subscribing helps you stay informed without stress,